So this is another poem from my book called Reading a Science Article on the Airplane to JFK, which I wrote 2 years ago, crawling back from AWP in Chicago, and feeling deathly hungover and overwhelmed. And I found that I've become more and more fascinated with reading science articles about the human brain and my sad attempts to figure out what the hell is going on with my brain sometimes, which is the perfect place for a poet to be in, however dark it is. Today I flew over the Midwest, filling out a questionnaire on the emotional life of the brain and personal capacity for resilience against despair. I was making a sculpture of my limbic systems in a huge conceptual neurosis. Under the simulated middle-class environment of the fuselage, snow was falling, and in everyone's skulls, complex regimes went on and on and on. I seek forever the right way to know this, that there are bridges not built in me, that there are areas that do not light up. You're at a party having a conversation with an interesting stranger. You're in a restaurant and the service is bad. You have experienced profound grief. How do you react to this? Down on the ground, your family writhes. Down on the ground, you are surrounded at Starbucks with a terrible glow. And you've seen someone you love with a colossal, complex vehemence die. And it is pinned under glass in perfect condition. It is wrapped around you like old fur. You've looked at the sky until your eyes touch zodiacal fantasies right there in the void. You know this, that the body lays down while the mind bloats on a kind of intellectual chaos. And you've just eaten a bag of cinnamon-flavored chips and assessed that if you met a new person who ran from you in horror, you would fill that space with calculated desolation. Thus you're waking up, having traveled through time. You're looking down at the Statue of Liberty, garden gnome with her arm in the air, her head full of strangers, and you hear crickets lined up, playing their creepy violins, and you want to be good, and you want to be liked, and you want to recover.
I wanna shoot the moon.
And now for the next 30 minutes, as the world turns. From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
Welcome, everyone. Dylan Box, back for another installment. Last time we kind of eviscerated Dylan and the Dead, so we promised to be kinder with our newest selection here. I'm your co-host, Ryan Harsch, and with me is...
I'm Chris LeRoy, and we have a third partner in this one, and that's...
Patrick Judy.
Hey, guys.
Patrick Judy is with us, too. So, what are we looking at today that we're going to be nice with?
Well, let's see. This was a new thing that came out in the midst of the pandemic, I believe, and it was a nice welcome surprise. So we have for everyone today, Murder Most Foul.
Oh, there we go.
So pop that right up there.
JFK.
So there was a big, long single. This kind of came right out, I believe, end of March, April-ish, and about 17 minutes long. Just came out as a single, promised to be part of an album, which we'll talk about another time. What were your thoughts? What did you think when this came out?
When it came out, it was just stunning because like David Bowie's last album. I always like when there's a surprise. Folks usually will. With Dylan, there's so much, Dylan informants that even if he goes or walks by a studio, people will say Dylan's working on a new album and it's in Studio B and these are the people and he's planning to do these songs. No one knew anything about this, and then he said there's a new Dylan single, and you're pretty excited about that. I said, well, there's new content from Bob Dylan. Mm-hmm. Then I heard the song, and I wasn't prepared for the length of it. When I first listened to it, I did not know that it was that long. And just the length of it is some notoriety for that. And as the song unfolded, for me, that very first time, I was saying to myself, and I'm a lifelong Dylan fan, and followed every move in his career. And so I'm in a new place. I'm in a new spot. Here's this person of whatever age. How old is our friend now? He's
about to be 80, I believe.
Okay. Here's our young friend at 80, churning out a music that that was new for me.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was great to hear something original, some original content, because like you said, it got me excited because we hadn't really, the last 3 albums, I think, were all covers or they're like standards and things, so it almost seemed like he was warming up for this. But yeah, when I heard it, it was like the English major immediately latched on to how literate this thing was, and just how, like you said, he was telling this story, but then he was almost making it seem timeless in a lot of ways. He definitely gave you a setting, but then he dropped in a lot of references. Yeah. One thing I remember right after this came out, and I think it's still available, there was a playlist available on Spotify where you can have all the stuff he referenced throughout the song. He's talking about all kinds of things. There's a playlist made out of all those songs.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
If you had a month to sit down.
Hey, I think we did after that. We had a little bit of time, so it was very timely, though, I felt, and it came at the right moment when the country was unsure. I don't want to compare it to that day in 1963 because I wasn't alive, but it was, maybe this moments in history that kind of echo each other in terms of the feeling and how kind of solemn people were and how scared and how unsure of what would happen next. And, with it being right when the country started basically literally shutting down. Mm-hmm. And everything we had, live music we were talking about and everything else, that unsurety was really echoed in the music.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a downer or anything. It was just exultant in the fact that Dylan's back and he's doing this and he's got a message and it
seems to be timely. It seems
absolutely.
to be. It's kind of speaking to the now. How about you, Patrick Judy? When you first heard "Murder Most Foul," what was that first impression?
I was like, wow, and I was exhausted by the time it was done. I mean, I was amazed. I really wasn't sure if it was at first whether it was an older song that they were just now releasing. His voice sounded really good though. Mm-hmm. But I felt part of his could be autobiographical, and did start out with the Kennedy assassination, and then it worked its way up to another couple of time periods. It seemed like it worked its way back to that point though, at some certain parts, and I did feel that there was a certain bitterness too at some points, like don't worry, we got your replacement.
Oh,
already.
Yeah.
There's
right.
lines like that.
Yeah, that it's interesting. Yeah, you're right. That it does seem to kind of start with that assassination, and then to move in some other spaces. But the last images are still back on the tarmac or something, where it's just kind of this last comment and that just the notion of this murder most foul. It's trying to address a wound that will never heal.
Right.
In '63, I was in 3rd grade, and it literally stopped the country in its tracks. And there's been other tragedies in our country, but it seemed to be a modern tragedy. This couldn't happen to us now, and it couldn't happen, to
in
this
our time that we saw this, right?
It really froze it just froze people in space.
Up all night, close to the brink. I close my eyes, I try not to think. Reaching for you, I almost touched down. But the moon won't stop wandering around. You look good, asleep in that chair. Faint expectations rise in the air. When you awake, I won't be found. This moon won't stop wandering around. Wandering around, wandering around, all through the evening, never a sound. But come here, my child, lay your head down. We'll stop this wandering around. You were right, I can't be read. Close that book, lay it down by your head. You were the story, in you I was bound. Won't stop wandering around. Oh, my friend, your time has been true. Everything right goes straight back to you. Maybe in dreams we'll cover that ground, but the moon won't stop wandering around. Wandering around, wandering around, all through the evening and never a sound. Oh, come hungry child, won't you lay your head down? We'll stop this wandering around. If I pray and when I die, you can have all these tears that I cried. One heart was lost, one will be found. So much for wandering around. Wandering around, wandering around, all through the evening and never a sound. Come hungry child, won't you lay your head down? We'll stop this wandering around. We'll stop this wandering around.
This next song is called Skin and Bones, and it's self-explanatory.
To some people.
To some people. To me. Maybe to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the morning light makes it impossible to think. You make your coffee strong, but your will is worn and weak. You're in uncharted waters now, anchorless and well out past the plate. You got something eating you, even though you know it shouldn't. And you ask yourself, did you do enough? But there was no way that you could have. Your stomach's churning, the drink does nothing, you can't shake it. Look on the darkness, you don't get no sleep. You just toss and turn, your mind is racing. What went wrong? I don't think that you're ever gonna know. You'll just worry yourself, and the skin and bones. You're gonna worry yourself, and the skin and bones. By the time you tasted real regret, you wondered why it hadn't happened yet. The taste was bittersweet and mean, but how'd you ever think that you'd come out clean? After so many close calls, it's time for you to take your fall. Look on the darkness, you don't get no sleep. You just toss and turn, mind is racing. Well, what went wrong? Well, that's impossible to know. You're gonna worry yourself, and the skin and bones. You're gonna worry yourself, right down the skin and bones. No need to worry yourself, and the skin and bones. There's no need to worry yourself, down to skin and bones. All right, Sean, let's take off. You're gonna worry yourself, down to skin and bones. You're gonna worry yourself, down to skin and bones. You're gonna worry yourself, down to skin and bones. You're gonna worry yourself, right down to skin and bones. Third time's a charm.
Goodbye.
see it coming. Now I realize watched it burn right in front of my eyes. Sometimes I let it set aside. Sometimes it ain't better alive. Sometimes for me, it don't sound so good. Searching the neighborhood. Found you woods across my street, black and white, no in-between. Could have been better when I said I would. Wondering right now if you're doing any good. Sometimes I set aside, sometimes I let it lie. Sometimes the road don't sound so good. Searching the neighborhood. Mystery man, serious guy, Julie. Holding my hand, we prayed by me. Sure seen it coming, just couldn't see. My heart and soul crashing down on me. The light blue flag on a serious guy. Don't slow down, you have to die. Just really on guitar. Close my eyes, the dance floor. Sometimes I let it set aside. Sometimes I let it bury it alive. Sometimes the room don't sound so good. Searching the neighborhood. Searching the neighborhood. Searching the neighborhood. Running out of neighborhood. Julie Larson.
Nearly any task that asks for compensation, well, there's a little he would ask. Takes a woman like you to get through to the man in me. Storm clouds are raging all around my door. I said to myself, I might not take this anymore. Takes a woman like you to get through to the man in me. But oh, what a wonderful feeling just to know that you are near. Yeah, sets my heart reeling from my toes and then right up to my ears. Take it home. The man in me will hide sometimes to keep from being seen. But that's just because he doesn't wanna turn into some machine. It takes a woman like your kind just to find the man in me. But oh, what a wonderful feeling
Yeah, and what Chris isn't telling you is that Blue Wagon thing, the first song, one take all the way through. I thought it was a practice take. No, now we're done.
Yeah.
And the second one is like this little jam practice session. He's like showing me a song for the very first time. You know, I've never heard this, and that's on there. And the third song is like this 4-track that he did in a hotel. Sounds like he's stoned or something, and I'm not really sure what the heck he was doing there, but it was all locked on, all 4 tracks are locked on one track in here, so he couldn't really alter it. So we like added all this other like random things to it, and it's just a trip.
It makes for a good...
everything is like one take. Oh, we're done.
Yes.
So it's like, wow.
We don't waste time, except for now. Here we go.
When the dream came, I held my breath with my eyes closed. I went insane like a smoke ring day when the wind blows. But I won't be back till later on if I do come back at all. Because you know me. And I miss you now. In a strange game, I saw myself as you knew me. When the change came, I had a chance to see through me. Though the other side, it's just the same. You can't tell my dream is real, because I love you and I miss you now. Though we rush ahead to save our time, we are only what we feel. Because I love you.
Love you.
Can you feel it now? 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 Can you?
Lisa Nemetz.